Hi, my name is Jacob Rudder, and today's video is going to be about the Mine Reclamation Act of 1977. Basically, mining in this area in eastern Kentucky hasn't always been the best for the people in the community. So I have I would say, two individuals who have been in the mining industry for a very long time, who have seen it from the beginning till now, and I want them to just tell their story, tell what mining reclamation looks like to them and what it means. When did you start working around mines?
I started around 1990 doing certain types of contracting around the coal companies.
What did they have you doing?
I was making mining timbers for the deep mines at that time.
So does that mean just going up, cutting the trees down, and then?
Yes, we cut trees down. We would split them into whatever length of timbers it needed for that coal seam. Coal seams run anywhere from, we made them from 4 foot all the way up to 12 foot.
How has mining changed since you started until today?
Well, when I started, there was a lot of deep mining going on, and not so much surface mining. But then later on in the 90s, they kind of switched to the surface mining, doing mountaintop removal, contour mining, high wall mining.
Has strip mining kind of fell off in this area?
All mining in this area has fell off. It's basically here in eastern Kentucky, it's basically non-existent compared to what it was back in the 90s.
What caused most coal companies to pull out of here?
The reason most coal companies pulled out of eastern Kentucky is the seams are smaller, it's harder to mine, more expensive, less profitable, and the federal government put in some places and some regulations from 2008 on, actually all the way back to the late 90s, that for surface mining you couldn't hardly get a hollow field permit, and that's where they put the overburden as they are removing the coal.
Go in and do anything with that?
Well, the coal companies since 1977 was required to do the reclaiming themselves, and they have to put up a bond, and if they don't do the reclaiming, they forfeit the bond, and they cannot get any more bonding or any more permits. Each ton of coal that's been mined since back in the 70s, there's a fee paid on it to the federal government, to where that the states are awarded what they call AML funds. That's for abandoned mine lands. That is to reclaim mine sites, take care of the environmental damage in the communities, for jobs that were done prior to 1977, when the Mine Reclamation Act was begun.
President Jimmy Carter enacted SMACRA, which is Surface Mining Coal Reclamation Act. This act gives the government a little bit more control over the mining industry. It prevented wildcat mining. It held the coal companies accountable and made them start putting up bonds for reclamation, and made them reclaim the land back the way it was supposed to be. This was done because they were destroying the environment and people's lives until this act got into effect.
What was some ways that they were destroying people's property and lives?
They came in. If John Doe owned the coal, even though he didn't own the property, they'd come in and strip it anyway. And they'd come in, mine it, push all the rocks and trees over the hill onto these people's houses. And there was no law to stop them from doing that. And they just had they could go Now it's 100 feet or more. They could go right beside a tombstone of mine before this law come into effect. They had ponds, but they were pretty much useless. Now, after the law, they've got ponds where all the mine drainage drains through and out the ponds.
What does reclamation mean?
It basically means, for us, it just means they put it back where they mine. They've got on a plan. They have a plan, and this plan shows how it's supposed to be put back, and that's the reclamation. They just have to put it back. Whatever they've tore up, they have to put it back the way it was. The reclamation.
Who pays for it?
The company pays for it, and we've got, since that law's in effect, the company has to put up a bond. That way there, if the company walks off, the state holds their bond money, and the state can come in and take that bond money and fix it the way it's supposed to have been fixed.